วัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Good evening, you're watching Weekly News Thailand and greeting to those who are watching us from 177 countries around the world. I'm Sunida, สวัสดีพรพลบ
and I'm สุหัชชา สวัสดีพรพลบ
And now let's start with the first news. China and Thailand have confirmed their strategic cooperation in a meeting between the Thai Prime Minister and Chinese Minister of Foreign Affairs at the Government House this week. Wang Yi, State Councillor and Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China, paid a courtesy call on General Prayut Chan-o-cha, Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, during an official visit to Thailand. The Prime Minister said Thailand and China were celebrating 45 years of diplomatic relations and that their partnership and general strategic cooperation aimed at enhancing their respective economies and societies. Wang Yi thanked the Thai government for giving him a warm welcome and said the Chinese government sent its blessing to His Majesty the King and Her Royal Highness Princess Sirinthorn. He said it was an honor to be the first minister to visit Thailand since the COVID-19 pandemic, which showed China's confidence in the Thailand situation. He said each country had to consider its own measures to control the disease and to revive the economy. China is considering a fast lane system so that citizens can make journeys as well as the Greenland transport goods, and if the processes are implemented, Thailand will be the first to know. The Prime Minister says Thailand considers China an important trade and investment partner. At the same time, China praised Thailand for supporting an open and transparent investment environment. China was ready to invest in projects such as linking the Eastern Special Development Zone and the Guangdong-Hong Kong-Macau Bay area, the Foreign Minister said.
The Ministry of Public Health is speeding up each step of process in finding a vaccine to protect against of COVID-19, saying that when it's found, Thailand will be one of the first countries to implement it. Anutin Chanvirakul, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Public Health, said the ministry has signed a letter of collaboration with Oxford University and Siam Bioscience in researching and producing a vaccine against COVID-19. He said Phase 1 of testing a prototype on humans has already begun using 3 different technologies, mRNA, DNA, and protein subunits. If both Phase 1 and 2 trials are found to be effective, they may not have to be Phase 3 experiments. The Department of Disease Control and FDA have been assigned to follow up results in allergies and any side effects.
And the Army commander says he's worried about a resurgence of COVID-19 now that temperatures have dropped, saying the Army must remain strong and not let down its guard. Lieutenant General Santipong Thampiya, Army spokesperson and director of the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration, said Army Commander General Narongpan Jitkaew was concerned about any further spreads of COVID-19. Temperatures are cooling in Thailand and it's necessary to step up preventative measures. He says the Army commander ordered the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration and the Army Medical Department to add some extra measures. Army personnel had to maintain proper hygiene and practice military discipline such as wearing masks, washing hands, exercising, maintaining social distance, and promote the use of teleconferencing. Any sick troops needed to be quarantined as soon as possible. He said the Army continues to support the government and take care of people during the COVID pandemic via the prevention of illegal immigration and support for cross-border disease screening in 22 places. Soldiers are also supporting disease control missions at 12 state quarantine areas. They are also helping to distribute consumer goods to the people to reduce the economic impact of the pandemic.
The Ministry of Public Health is sending out biosafety vehicles in border communities in Mesot district of That province. At the same time, the military continues to tighten border crossing areas to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic from neighboring countries. Department of Disease Control, Ministry of Public Health sends out biosafety vehicles to collect swab tests among lorry drivers in safety zone at second time in my Friendship Bridge checkpoint บ้านวังตะเคียงใต้ท่าสายลวด Sub District แม่สอด District Tak province. Currently, officers collect 293 tests. They also search for virus-infected suspects by collecting swab tests among residents in Mesot municipality. After collecting 5,383 tests, they found 1,194 tests show negative for virus. Others are waiting for results. Officers will collect swab tests in 8 areas, including department stores and crowded places, in order to prevent the outbreak. Major General Amnat Sima, commander of the Naresuan Force, went to a natural border crossing called Ta 23 in Mesot Pa sub-district to monitor operations there. The area is cracking down on illegal immigrants crossing the border. The army is also sending in troops from the Naresuan camp to educate locals on how to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The Army General also checked out 5 biosafety vehicles used to transport cargo and workers, both Thai and Burmese, to Myanmar in Myanmar. The vehicles are used in the prevention of any possible COVID-19 outbreak during the exchange of goods at the second Thai Myanmar Friendship Bridge checkpoint or safety zone. Meanwhile, Major General Santi Skuntanak, commander of the 5th Infantry Brigade and the commander of the Thep Satri Corps, said COVID-19 was on the rise in Myanmar, and for this reason, the army was stepping up surveillance in Ranong and Chumphon provinces. He said extra manpower could be brought in from the 2nd Infantry Battalion, the 25th Infantry Regiment at any time, and their work was being coordinated and discussed with relevant departments. These provinces are often the sites of illegal border crossings and smuggling and needed to be monitored carefully.
And the Army commander called a meeting of the Internal Security Operations Commission to discuss policy about integrated security, saying the monarchy must be respected. The meeting was called to receive guidance from General Narongpan Jitkaew, Army Commander and Deputy Director of ISOC on security policy. The meeting was held with the heads and deputy heads of ISOC units throughout the country. General Narongpan emphasized the importance of strengthening the monarchy, which is the main institute of the country. He said the monarchy had made great contributions to the country. The public was aware of this and appreciated the monarchy, and showed this through loyalty and following royal initiatives such as the sufficiency economy philosophy. In addition, it was important for ISOC to be seen as a problem-solving support organization for all sectors of society. ISOC was ready to respond to any threats by coordinating with other agencies to build peace in all areas. It was committed to supporting royal initiatives and royal volunteer projects, solving drug problems and building awareness of environmental issues such as forest fires, haze, waste disposal, and disaster prevention and mitigation. All these areas are monitored during normal conditions so that ISOC is better able to deal with disasters and reduce loss of life and property. ISOC in the provinces will focus on building and strengthening society by solving problems, building knowledge, and providing accurate information. It was important to strengthen the abilities of ISOC in all areas, the Army commander said. ISOC asked its provincial coordinator to tell them of any security threat to prevent them from further occurring and to keep the nation at peace.
A ceremony was held recently to kick off the very first class of the Night of a Volunteer training course for this year. Lieutenant General Daranchai Hintao, Region 1 Commander and Director of the Royal Volunteer Center at Region 1, was present at the opening of the basic training course for 904 volunteers at Rama 6 Camp, Phetchaburi Province. It's the first training course to be held this year. Lieutenant General Daranchai said the 904 volunteers played an important role in fostering the volunteer spirit. They benefited society as a whole and were shining examples of youth for the country. He said the volunteers needed to be orderly and efficient. The lecturers had to be knowledgeable about the monarchy, strategy science. He said he hoped the spirit would be passed on to other members of the community and that everybody acknowledge and appreciate the grace of the monarchy from the past to the present.
And now please stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break.
านีวิทยุโทรทัศน์กองทัพบกช่อง 5 ร่วมกับบริษัท Advanced Info Service จำกัดมหาชนกับโครงการช่วยเหลือเกษตรกรสู้ภัยโควิด -19 พบกับสินค้าเกษตรเกรดพรีเมียมทุกวันจันทร์ถึงศุกร์เวลา 11 นาฬิกาและเวลาบ่าย 3:05 นาทีสามารถสั่งซื้อผ่านทางแอปพลิเคชัน Olala Shopping เว็บไซต์ olalashopping.com และทาง Line @Olala Shopping หรือ Call Center โทร 02-279-1255 Olala Shopping สินค้าดีมีคุณภาพราคายุติธรรม
กลัวแล้วเหรอ เดี๋ยวรวมไปติดอยู่ข้างหน้าเดี๋ยวผมจะขำให้ดู
ไหวไหมไหวไหมไหวไหมลองน้ำนั่นไง
เบนโบ๊ทฟังเด็กคุยมาแล้วครับ พบกันเป็นประจำทุกวันจันทร์ตอนเย็นเวลา 17:30 นาทีทางททบ 5
มาอยู่ทีมเดียวกับป๊อกไหมอ่ะ เดี๋ยวจะมีการกระโดดตั้งแต่จากตึกชั้น 4 ลงมาด้วยนะ
ไม่ได้ค่ะตกชัวร์
อ้าวแล้วถ้าเป็นไฟเหลืองอ่ะ
ๆก็เตียงไหม
เตรียมอะไร
เตียงไฟแดง
เตรียมไฟแดง
พลาดพบกับความสนุกสุดมันได้ในเบนโบ๊ทฟังเด็กคุย แล้วเจอกันนะครับ
Welcome back to Weekly News Thailand. The Prime Minister met with the National Digital Economy and Society Committee, saying it was important to develop infrastructure and to ensure the integration of information. General Prayut Chan-o-cha, Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, shared the meeting at the Pakdi Badin building at Government House. The Prime Minister said that in the past, the government placed great importance on planning and developing basic infrastructure for both a database platform and central news agency, which he considers to be the heart of government information administration. In this way, the government could function as a digital government according to the National Strategic Plan and drive the digital economy forward. The policy ensures the government keeps pace with the changing world situation, and it must be considered when planning any new structures or development. The Prime Minister also emphasized that departments must be connected and able to transfer information easily in order to solve problems and ensure national development in the economy, society, the environment, and security. This all leads to a better quality of life for the people, the Prime Minister said.
The Deputy Prime Minister visited the 3 southern border provinces to follow up on development and security in the region, saying every child there should be able to read and speak Thai. In that way, problems can be solved together. General Prawit Wongsuwan, Deputy Prime Minister, took a team down to monitor progress in development and security, as well as meeting workers in those fields and encouraging them to continue their work. He also visited the Southern Border Provinces Administrative Center and the 4th Army District. The Deputy Prime Minister asked security workers to ensure the safety of the local population and to ensure problems are resolved consistently and continuously at all levels. He asked them to adhere to the principles of peace and human rights and to promote participation and coexistence under a multicultural society. He said it was important to continue the peace dialogue process at the local level and to help prevent the distortion of religious teachings. Other areas that needed to be focused on included the suppression of the drug trade and the elimination of violence. He stressed that the administrative center placed importance on education, and every child in the region must be able to read and write Thai. He emphasized the creation of jobs and community work so that incomes of farmers and locals could be raised, and the government was committed to this via marketing and technology channels. The Deputy Prime Minister said the government was speeding up future economic projects in the southern region and its 4 main cities, such as providing land and jobs for the people.
The Minister of Finance says Thailand's GDP has on the whole improved thanks to measures implemented by the state to support businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic. อาคมเติมพิทยาภัยศิษย์ the Minister of Finance was speaking about information from the International Monetary Fund which revised Thailand's economic forecast from negative 7.7% to negative 7.1%. This is a reflection of an overall improvement in the Thai economy. This comes after the business sector returned to normal after the COVID-19 pandemic and the government created stimulus packages, including the relaxation of debt and offering grants to business operators. He says the situation must be monitored, especially after the Bank of Thailand ends its soft loans measures on October 22nd, so that debtors can return to doing business. As for those who cannot pay off their debts, there must be consideration for assistance as a whole. The Ministry of Finance will collect information and coordinate with state financial institutions to find ways to enhance liquidity to ensure businesses can continue.
The Deputy Prime Minister has ordered officials to speed up work in draining flooded areas, as well as repairing houses and helping out farmers. Lieutenant General Kongchit Tantrawanit, spokesperson for Deputy Prime Minister General Prawit Wongsuwan, said the Deputy Prime Minister has ordered the military, police and government officials to closely monitor the flood situation. He asked volunteers to help out nearly 16,000 families in 18 provinces affected by heavy rains and floods until the situation returns to normal. Hard-hit areas include districts of Pak Thong Chai, Non Soong and Non Thai in Nakhon Ratchasima province, as well as Surat Thani province. Areas of flooding owing to the release of water in reservoirs and dams that has accumulated. Some water levels have already dropped, and for those areas, the Deputy Prime Minister has asked officials to hurry to help restore the areas to their original state. This includes helping people clean their houses and ensuring farmers are not badly affected. He asked the National Water Resources Office to coordinate the efforts and to find solutions to flood problems for overall better management.
And now tourists are returning to the cave known as Le Khao Kop Cave in Hue Yaw district of Trang province after the COVID-19 situation has eased. Le Khao Kop Cave is a popular tourist destination of Trang and has now reopened to tourists and the general public. The caves had been closed for 2 to 3 months during the COVID-19 pandemic. Visitors need to wear masks and maintain social distance, and there are only 3 or 4 tourists per boat. The cost per boat has been reduced from 400 baht to 300 baht to attract tourists. The reopening of tourist attractions, such as Le Khao Kop Cave, is causing many Thai tourists from other provinces to see the beauty of the caves with the natural stalactites and stalagmites. The highlight is the Dragon Cave, where tourists must lie flat on their backs in their boats to access, creating much excitement.
And that's all for Weekly News Thailand today. Thank you for watching us and see you again next Sunday. สวัสดีค่ะ